All right, number 10. Complete the table below. We have hours and miles over here. So all you got to think about is these relations over here. So 2 hours to miles. In 2 hours, they did 12 miles. So 2 times what equals 12? It would be times 6, right? 2 times 6 equals 12. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let's test it out over here as well. 8 times 6, I'm using the same number, that's our relation, equals 48. So that is correct, right? So all we have to do is fill in the rest of them. So what's 4 times 6? It's going to be 24. And then, now this one's backwards, right? How do I get it? Well, instead of being times 6, I'm going to do divided by 6. Let me put it over here though. So 36 divided by 6 is going to give me my answer here. And I'll let you guys figure that one out. All right. Number 10. All right, number 11 says, what percent of 50 is 17? So what percent of 50 is 17? We're going to do our normal percent over 100. And that equals is over of, right? This is something you guys have to memorize because it keeps coming up. So let's just fill in what information we have. What percent, so we don't know what the percent is because it's asking us for it, over 100. Oh, that is a sloppy line here, but you guys get the point. Equals 50 or 17 of 15 is 17. So is going to go on top. So what number is next to is? That's our 17, right? And of is 50. So here we go. The quickest and easiest way to do this, I mean, you guys can do the cross multiplying if you want, the method we've been doing. And I'll show you the quick way first, and then I'll show you that way afterwards. So the quickest way is think about these relations. How can I make my 50 turn into 100? Well, all you have to do is times it by 2, right? Oops. Times by 2. So 50 times 2 equals 100. So 17 times 2 is going to equal this number over here. And that's just 17 times 2. Let's see what we get. 2 times 7 is 14. Do your 1 over here. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus the 1 is 3. So then our answer would be 34 over 100, which is 34%, right? That's the missing number. Now, if you want to do the cross multiplying, we can do that as well, because that is another way of doing it. It's going to be a little bit longer, but I think the fastest way is knowing these relations. If I can get to 100 easily, okay, let's do it this way. If not, then do the cross multiplying. So let me see here. If I cross multiply here, x times 50 is just going to be 50x, and that's going to be equal to 100 times 17. And again, you just put the number first and then add the zeros from the 100. 2 zeros. And then the whole point of this is to get the letter by itself. So let's get rid of any letter that's the numbers that are next to the letters, or variable. So we have x here, so let's divide by 50, because that's the number that's next to x, right? And I'm going to divide this one by 50. When I divide by 50, these cancel out, and all I'm left with is x equals whatever 1700 divided by 50 is. So let's go in and out. That's what a fraction is all about, right? So this goes in. I'm actually just going to use these. Let me see if I can just move them. This goes in. This goes out. How many times can 50 go into 101? It can't, right? 17? It can't. So let's go to the next number, which is 170. Can it go into 170? Yes. How many times? Think of 50 cents. That's like $1.50, right? 3 times. If it was 4 times, it'd be 200, too much, or $2. So here we go. This is $1.50 or 150. 170 minus 150 equals 20. I know that looks like a decimal, but it's not. Let me get rid of it. Okay. I'm going to bring down my 0, my extra 0, and I'm left with 200. Now 50 times what equals 200? Well, I just told you guys it was 4, right? Think of 50 cents. 50 cents plus 50 cents plus 50 cents plus 50 cents. That's 4 times would equal 200. 200 pennies, right? And so here we go. We're left with 0. And that is our answer, 34. So that's the other way of figuring it out. So it's 34%. 34 over 100 equals 34%. That's the number we're looking for. All right, that was another way of doing 11. I think it's faster if you just try to get your denominator down or to equal 100. All right. Edwin drove 140 miles at 40 miles per hour. How long did it take Edwin to get to his destination? This is number 12. So let's look at the last sentence. How long did it take Edwin to get to his destination? All right, it's not really saying what. It just wants to know how long it took him to get there. So if he's driving 140 miles at 40 miles per hour. So our rate over here is 40 miles per how many hours? Per 1 hour, right? So it's miles over hours. So if it's going at 40 miles per hour, then this is what we're trying to figure out, how many hours it took for him to get there, right? All right, so what you can do is, since you have a unit right here, I mean, you can do the same cross multiplying that we've been doing. So let's do that, because we're not dealing with percentages, but we are still dealing with the equivalent fractions here. So this is going to equal to this, right? Is there an easy way to get from 40 to 140? Like, can you multiply to get that number? Probably not. But what you can do is divide, and you can get that number. Oops. What's going on here? So it'd be 140 divided by 40. That's how many miles we're going in. How many times can 40 go in there? Well, I might not be able to do that in my head. So let me see here. If you get rid of these zeros, pretend they don't exist. Okay, I'm going to erase them. Basically, all I did is divide both of them by 10. So I have easier numbers to work with now. So 4 goes into 14 3 times. I'm left with 2. I'm going to add a decimal because I can't go into 2, right? 4 can't divide into 2. So now I'm going to add a decimal. Oops. And if I add a decimal here, I'm bringing it right up. Now 4, and I can now add a 0, right? Bring my 0 down. So this is now 20. How many times can 4 go into 20? That would be 5 times. So your answer is 3.5 hours, right? That's what we're trying to get. Our missing information right there, 3.5 hours. If you did the cross multiplying, you could do it the same way. It'd be 140 times 1. So on this side, you'd have 140 equals 40x, right? And it's the same thing. You have to get x by itself, so you're dividing by 40. If I divide this by 40, then I have to divide this by 40. And you get your same answer. All it is in and out. You're dividing. All right, that's number 12. On number 13, you got to read it carefully. It says, find the missing value, n, in the table below. So where's n at? N's over here. We have dollars over hours, so we have $7, or 1 hour equals $7, or vice versa, right? For every $7, it's 1 hour. Over here is $14 is 2 hours, so we noticed that 1 times 7 got me here, 2 times 7 got me to 14, 3 times 7 got me to 21. So 4 times 7 equals 28. Wait a minute. That's not right. This is 42. Like, oh, so then this isn't going to be 4, is it? I know some of us probably think like 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're not really in order because there's an 8 here too. Does 8 times 7 equals 56? It sure does. So what times 7? What? Oh, let me say. What times 7? I'm putting an asterisk here. N times 7 equals 42. So if you don't know your math fact, you can't figure out what number this is, you can go opposite, get n by itself, so you're going to divide by 7. And divide this by 7. And then you'll learn that 42 divided by 7 actually equals 6. So that's your answer. N equals 6. All right, Millie sews 32 quilts in 8 hours. What is the unit rate of quilts per hour? Wow, 32. So let's put, it says quilts per hour, right? That's what it's asking us for. Right here, quilts per hour. When it says per hour, that means 1. So we already know what our bottom number is going to be. We're trying to get it down to 1. So right now, it said 32 in 8 hours. She's a speed demon of quilts. And we want to find out how to turn that into 1. So again, just like we're doing in all these are equivalent fractions. So we can either cross multiply to get our answer, or we can just find the relation and try to figure out how can I get these to equal. There's equal ones right here, right? 1 times 8 equals 8, or 8 divided by 8 equals 1. So 32 divided by 8 is going to give me my missing number. All right, so let me do that here real quick. Divided by 8 and divided by 8. So these would go right here. 8 divided by 8 equals 1. 32 divided by 8 equals my x. So what is 32 divided by 8? I'll let you guys do that math. But whatever you're left with is how many quilts you can do per hour. All right, number 15. At store A, apples can be bought at $3.64 a dozen. At store B, apples can be purchased at 6 for $1.85. Which is the better buy? So, store A, it said $3.60 per dozen, right? A dozen is 12. Store B, it said $1.85 for 6, right? So which is the better buy? That's what we're trying to figure out. Well, all you have to do is find your unit rate for each of these. And to get your unit rate, remember unit rate means our denominator. Our denominator is going to equal 1. Denominator equals 1. So we're trying to turn these into 1. So what I have to do to turn this into 1, I need to divide by 6. If I divide this by 6, I divide this by 6. On this one, I'm dividing by 12. Because it's the bottom number. Okay? So that's all you have to do. 360 divided by 12. Oh, this should have been orange. Sorry. $360 divided by 12. And the other one will be 185 divided by 6. So once you actually do that, you guys will have your answer. Because you'll know which one is cheaper, right? Because you'll have your unit rate for each one. And then afterwards, you can tell, hey, the unit rate for store A or store B is cheaper. And that's how you got your answer. All right, I'm going to stop there. That is number 15. Good luck, guys, on the test.